This feature is powered by the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, at the forefront of energy.
TTT will take you behind the scenes to view the servicemen and women who dedicate their lives to making TNT's Independence Day Parade spectacular. This is Behind the Parade.
On the 31st of August, 1962, there was a parade at the Red House when the Union Jack, symbol of the British Empire, was lowered, and Trinidad and Tobago's flag, red, white, and black, was hoisted to become an independent nation. That took place at midnight, 31st of August, 1962. Therefore, there would not have been a street parade following that parade at the Red House. The street parade that commemorates the anniversary of independence took place in 1963. The following year, on the anniversary of our independence. That parade was commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Piers Gould, who was the commanding officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment at the time. And it would have incorporated other members of the protective services and other uniform bodies.
2022 being the country's 60th Diamond Jubilee, celebrations has been themed #Together60.
The Defense Force Orchestra, they provide a musical support, and right now they're forming up and they're marching on, led by the massed bands. And it's to the tune of Pan in the 21st Century, under the direction of Major K. Francis.
It is not the easiest of things to reset a band, especially when you don't get to practice. Practice is one of the key things that you need to do to keep yourself on top of the ball. 2 years, yes, we are professional musicians, but you have to blow those cobwebs. So this little session here that we're doing as a mass band, it is probably one of my biggest challenges over the last 27 years of experience doing this. For the independence, we tend to stay with the nation-building type music for the actual parade, specifically the inspection. Traditionally, we go with probably soca artists who would have either died or would have had a very popular season from earlier the year or the year before, years gone by. This time around, we decided that we would do away with that. 60 years, we would look at a story in music. And I took it upon myself this year being most likely my last year as the director of music on the podium, to do something special for the country. We did something called Star and Shield. It's a story in music of the 60 years of the nation. It has little blends of God Bless Our Nation, Our Lands of Sun and Seas, Oh We Are Together, I'm 95, that's the police march. We have the Last Post, somewhere inside of there. And it blends together, telling the story of the nation, 1970, 1990, how things sort of got a little tumultuous, and then back together as one.
We play a significant role in the independence parade. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Band come together with the other bands of the protective services and rehearse at the Queen's Park Savannah in preparation for our independence. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Band has been in existence for 152 years. We were established in 1869 by Act of Parliament. We meet at our main band room, the steel orchestra, and the traditional instruments, what we call the Trinidad and Tobago Police Band, That is with the saxophone, clarinets, trombones, tubas, etc. We come together, practice all the music that we use for the parade, and music for the road, for the after the official parade at the Queen's Park Savannah.
We normally choose the songs that win road march, which are most effective, but we tend to go a little retro and old school as well.
Especially now the 60th anniversary, we try to choose calypso that will reflect the past.
Oh, we have a lovely lineup. We have actually this year calypsos. What we normally do is take calypso hits from the year and convert it into marches. Sometimes the arranger chooses the piece, sometimes the band chooses, depending on how they feel it. It is arranged for the different sections, the different bands. And yeah, we drill and we drill and we drill until we get it right. Are we allowed to have secrets? So we keep a few secrets in mind.
You can expect the police band, as usual, to give you the music that you long for on the parade.
Love is my weapon, music is my religion, peace is in my soul.
We have been doing rehearsals to get all the repertoire in order. We have a program in place where we mix it with physical training. All right? We do little walks, we do little hikes, and then we do a route march in Chagaramas, sometimes through Mover, just to get the band back in tune for that eventuality of having to play the instruments while on the march. Rehearsals are a little tough sometimes. You know, we rehearse in the morning, take a break, then we rehearse in the afternoon. Plus we have to learn some new songs, right? Then we have other engagements in between that kind of put a little spoke in it, but we are doing our endeavor best to ensure that we will be ready to represent on Independence.
The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Band, currently led by Prison Supervisor Band Master Mr. Ricardo Hassanali, is the only prison or correctional officers band in the entire Commonwealth and Western Hemisphere.
In 1994, the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Band was asked to join the parade at the national level to bring on the armed contingent. There's a misconception every single year that the regiment band brings on the armed contingent and the police brings on the unarmed contingent, which was in fact happening before 1994. After 1994, the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Band joined forces with the regiment band to bring on the armed contingent, and the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services Band joined forces with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Band to bring on the unarmed contingent. And then we merged and have a mass band to do the entire parade during the 1-hour event held on Independence Day. Our role and functions are many as far as prison duties and as well as band duties. I enjoy the reward we give to persons in the public. The public generally sees the prison service as a negative entity, and we as the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Band do all the PR and bring that different perspective on what the prison service and prison officers do on a daily basis, and we bring that relief and joy. Our experiences that everywhere we've played is one that has been very passionate, but yet accepting that this is something different that they're seeing from the officers as well as from the service. We comprise mainly of about 50 members as compared to the 70 and 80 membership of the other bands. We have our snare drums, we have our bassline drummers and our tenor drummers, we have our percussionists, we have our trumpets, we have our trombones, we have our alto sax, our tenor sax, We have the sousaphone and the tubas as well.
On the road, we tend to do the breakaway, the soca, so that the crowd is there. Please, there's a corner somewhere down by Park Street that we call the bomb corner. That's where most of the crowd tends to somehow end up, and that's where the bomb tunes from the bands come out. That's where all the arrangers and the bands get to show off their talent. Now, mind you, we do have to use the entire route, the entire 2 miles, to play tunes. Bomb corner is just one place. We have to play at places like La Perouse Cemetery where the dead is really dead. So we have to find things to keep the troops alive, because that's what we're really on the road for, to keep the troops in step, keep them alive, keep them going for that 2 miles. Because after standing up for an hour outside there on that tarmac, it's not an easy job. So that's our plan this year again. We're gonna blow the nation socks off this time around.
In 2019, Man's Best Friend made a major comeback after a 15-year hiatus.
Our commissioner, he saw it fit that the dogs returned to the parade, seeing that the canines play such an integral part in national security.
Right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
In preparation for Independence Day parade, this normally takes place in 3 stages. This is where we decide on what formation or routine we would like to do, whether it's on the march or in a stationary position. Once we get the routine down pat, we introduce the dogs and we add them to this element. As soon as everybody's comfortable working with their dogs, we introduce the music to get the dogs accustomed to the drums. We have recently restarted our puppy program, and one of the things we do is that the puppies are introduced to all environments and noises at an early age, so that by the time they reach to adulthood and they are selected for the parade, that is a very small element as to the dogs already accustomed to the distractions and the noises.
The Ttps mounted branch was originally introduced in the then police force for the delivery of mail. With the introduction of a postal service, the duties of mounted branch changed to that of patrols and crowd control. According to the Ttps, an officer on horseback is more effective at crowd control than 10 or more officers on foot.
Our male horses, which are called geldings, right, are unable to mate. The main reason a gelded horse is a castrated horse, where the testicles would have been removed. The reason for that is that if the testicles were not removed, if they were not gelded, then these male horses would be too heated and too uncontrollable for us to handle in any mounted branch.
Horses assist in search and rescue operations, pursuit of suspects, participate in parades, facilitate visits of schools to the mounted branch headquarters, and provide escort to foreign dignitaries and funeral for officers.
Getting them prepped for independence is a lot of work. Training is something that happens every single day. We normally train for at least an hour, but sometimes in preparation for independence, we have to go longer sometimes. Some days it may be easy, other days it might be harder. So when it's harder, you better push it on more, sometimes push it on longer. And any day, you have to get it right.
The Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force is a voluntary youth organization that acquires its membership from secondary schools. The main objective of the Cadet Force is to train and inspire young men and women to be model citizens. The training of cadets is patterned after basic military practice and discipline. The Cadet Force is seen as the base for sourcing recruits for the Protective Services and the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. The Cadet Force also has an all-female naval unit at Holy Faith Convent, Cover.
I am 27746 Frank Maloney P, and I'm 17 years old and I attend Northeastern College Unit. Normally you don't see women pushing themselves to march for Independence Parade, especially young cadets, so it feels really good to be representing them soon.
It can be sloppy because can make this place here have a certain standard. Sharp drill, marching on time, staying on line with the person next to you. Perfect drill, sir.
The Cadet Force units are based in 75 secondary schools throughout the country. In addition, there are several specialist units within the Cadet Force where cadets can learn musical instruments. Trinidad and Tobago's 60th Jubilee Independence Day Parade is one set for the history books. This as the country will be celebrating not only its 60 years of being an independent state, but also coming out of a 2-year COVID-19 restriction with no parade. The men and women of all our security divisions met at the VIP room at the Queen's Park Savannah to discuss and fine-tune the parade's proceedings. From the actual drills on Parade Square to medical for the health and safety of all personnel while on parade to specially invited guests and VIPs, and that the main highlights during the ceremony are all in sync.
So we do the about turn in march, halt on the spot, then you turn outwards.
The regiment, Coast Guard and Air Guard team up for a stellar drill display with both armed and unarmed men and women. This year, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Holness, is the country's specially invited guest. So 2022's Independence Day Parade has to be a showstopper.
This feature was powered by the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, at the forefront of energy